Hi everybody, on this beautiful Georgia day, the house, and I'm gonna go and check the mail. And I thought there was a deer running around here someplace or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I'm Zennie62, and on the way to get to the mail, I'm going to tell you my YouTube story. I thought about doing something really elaborate and all that, but I'm hearing something. Anyway, there's a lot of animals on this property, but at any rate. Okay, in 2006, I went to the NFL draft with a camcorder and interviewed my friend Michael Dotterer, who was a Raider legend and played at Stanford. In fact, he was one of only, I think, 24 two-sport athletes in Stanford history. Now in the Stanford Hall of Fame. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. He said, as I was interviewing him, you should discover video blogging and be a vlogger. And he told me about Rocketboom and that sort of thing. So 2006 turned out to be a big year. I went to something called Vloggercon, met people in the vlogging community, met the founders of a company called Blip TV, which is still in existence and which I use. And there were only a handful of people from YouTube there, as I recall at the time. Not many. Blip TV was the flavor at the time because of its quality, and YouTube had some quality issues at that time. So, at any rate, I started using YouTube because its video interaction was better. It was easier to make a video and then have someone respond to that video without you doing anything other than putting it up. So, hey, I saw your video and here's my comment. So this community grew. And that's how I got to know people like Irina, who I've talked about quite a bit, and got to know a number of other people. And in 2007, I was made a YouTube partner, and then on June 9th of that same year, June 6th of that year, Steve Grove, who was then and still is now the news and politics editor at YouTube, unbeknownst to me, was looking at my political videos and said, hey, I like your stuff. Why don't you make a sample video for our CNN YouTube Democratic debate? And I said, sure. And I said, well, do I get a chance to submit one? They said, oh, why not? Or he said, why not? So, I did that and realized, hey, my video might be seen on the CNN Democratic debate, right? The CNN YouTube Democratic debate. They didn't fly me to South Carolina. Doggone it. I wanted to go. But 52 minutes into the telecast, there was my question. And Joe Biden, the person who's now our vice president, answered it. And my question was, this coin says the United States of America, and if I turn it over, it says liberty, in God we trust. What do those words mean to you? And that sort of was the beginning of my YouTube-based or YouTube-caused stardom. Got some mail here. Yep. And to make a long story short, I started getting invited by CNN to be on their national television program, starting with Roland Martin Debate This, because at that time I think Paula Zahn had resigned and Roland Martin took over for her. And I was on what was supposed to be Paula Zahn's show. Then, next year, Jessica Ellis of CNN Special Projects found me, and I started, and CNN made me their go-to person on their CNN iReports, and I took all of my iReports and put them up on YouTube, of course, and that really went extremely well. And then, of course, CNN brought me back to New York for another live telecast that year after the first presidential debate between Senator John McCain and now President Barack Obama. And that's where things started really rolling for me. And then in 2009, I became a blogger. Well, I was already blogging. I have 100 blogs. But I started blogging with SF Gate and then The Examiner. And on top of all that, got a national TV show called The Blog Report with Zennie62. And that's on Colors TV on the Dish Network, 9407. And now I am just trying to get a lot of rest. My problem now is I basically have two jobs. I am Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Sports Business Simulations, and I am basically Executive Producer of Zennie62, which I want to turn into a media company. The challenge for me is to figure out how to merge two jobs into one, basically one company that does both. And I think I found the key. But I want to thank YouTube for sticking in there and hanging in there. But also, I think the major issue that needs to be ironed out, and one that Renault has raised, a number of other people, because they started vlogger heads almost as a response, is I keep thinking a bear is going to jump out at me on my own property. But at any rate, is to start reestablish that community, you know, that that interaction that we had with each other. It used to dominate YouTube, and now it's in little pockets. You have to, you know, but it's been replaced by TV clips and sexy video clips and all this stuff, you know. And now you got to use a sexy video clip just to get traffic, or, you know, partner with other people, or have these different little groups, and you know, there are different ways to do it. But I miss the old days of just 3 years ago. Anyway, thank you, YouTube.